Are we still here? Are we still here? Okay, all right. Now to the black. I am unapologetically black. What does that mean? What is black? There are no dark-skinned people on this planet. And I just read a little bit from Wikipedia talking about black people. And some of y'all are scholars and y'all do your research. So you will find out prior to Europeans, there was no dark-skinned people that called themselves black. So what, when you say I am unapologetically black, what are you saying? Now, even in the early history of black, I would say call it black chattel slavery, the slavery of dark-skinned people in this nation called the United States of America. The slaves called themselves by their tribes, Ashanti or Wolof or whatever, you know, if they came from Africa, they labeled themselves according to their tribes in the early history. But later on, as time progressed, all that disappeared, and now you have a people called black. Do you know why? Black is a breed of human beings. Black is a little bit of the Wolof, a little bit of Ashanti, a little bit of all kinds of dark-skinned people who were enslaved, forced to have a relationship due to slavery. They intermingle and interbred with one another. And of course, the slave master, the pink slave masters, raped the slaves. And so now you have a being that has no connection to the Caucasian people, no connection to the Wolof or the Ashanti or any other African tribe or native people that's here. You and I, we are a new breed of people born from slavery that was bred for the specific purpose of being a good slave. And we have done that, and we still are even till this day. Just like there are different kinds of horses. Some horses are bred to run. Some horses are bred to pull the plow. The black man was bred by the races in order to be the world's most perfect slave. And you still are today. That's why you cannot unite. That's why you can't get it together. That's why you holler talk about I want to be free, but you really don't want to be free. Is because it is your nature. That's where you come from. You are a slave. So when you say, I am unapologetically black, you are saying I am apologetically proud to be a slave. That's the bottom line. And when you say that you're African, you never specify. You never say I'm Ghanaian or I'm Congolese, I'm from Somali or any African nation, I'm Ashanti. You always say just African because you know you don't belong nowhere. I am unapologetically black. I am unapologetically telling you I am proud to be a slave. Black power family, slave power family. There is no power in black because black, and if you just read a little bit of the Wikipedia definition of black people, you will see that black is always connected to slavery, the enslavement, the exploitation of somebody, because that's what it is. You and I, we are a creation races. We are a complex mulatto. There is no pure black person. You are a product of race mixing. Mixing between dark-skinned people and, of course, a little splash of Caucasian. That's why there are so many different shades and we look so different. Some of us do look like West Africans and then some of us don't. Some of us look like Native Americans. Some of us even look Chinese. We all mixed up. I am unapologetically black. You think you're going to get power from the embracing something that was made to take power away from you. And you can get angry all that I want. Your actions and your behaviors support exactly what black is. You act like a slave, think like a slave. You move like a slave. And you have accepted this label given to you by your massa. So you can change your name all you want to. You can be Hotep, Allah, whatever. And you can be Tony Bay, Zulu, or whatever you want to call it. When it's all said and done, as long as you use that word black, you are nothing but a slave. You are still property of your slave massa. Black power and all this African, that's another word that comes from racism, racist. You can say all that stuff, all that you want to, but when it's all said and done, the only thing you're really telling the world is, I am proud to be a slave. And that's all you will ever be. I unapologetically am happy to be an eternal slave forever. You have shown no other evidence that you have gone beyond that, because that's exactly what you are, and you continue to behave that way. That's why many of you can't comprehend and understand exactly what comes from this rostrum, because this mind has been deprogrammed not only from racism but from blackism. I would like to, although it's belated, although it's becoming an old topic, I would like to speak about the current situation, the current beef, the rantings of our brother, Dr. Umar Johnson, and his beef with our brother, Sarah Sutton Seti. You know, to be quite honest, I really don't feel right calling ourselves or referring to each other as brothers and sisters because we do not behave like brothers and sisters. Because if we viewed ourselves as family, if we viewed ourselves as brothers and sisters, this behavior, this hate-filled rants, this disgusting vulgar interactions between the House of Consciousness and Polite and Sonetta TV and Sarah Sutton Seti, Young Pharaoh, Umar Johnson, and whoever is included in all this madness. How can you call somebody a brother or sister? How can you keep saying family? And when we say family, it's always directed toward those who will agree with everything that we say. No, what you should say is brown noses. Those of you who are here to kiss my backside. You're not looking for brothers and sisters. You're not looking for family. You're looking for slaves. And when you look at this situation, it reminds you of people on the corner selling dope. Everybody is fighting and defending and trying to take somebody else's turf. This is what so-called black conscience has turned into, some type of turf war where somebody claims black conscience, black liberation as some type of turf, something that they own. You don't own black liberation. This struggle has been going on before many of you were even a thought in the womb of your mother's brain. But now you are the king. You run this show. We have become so insane and crazy. And many of you, no matter what happens, you're going to continue to brown nose. You're going to continue to suck these people's backside. I love a quote from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he was making reference to the devil. Why does the so-called Negro love the devil or the white man? You love the white man. You love the pink man. You love them because they give you nothing. I don't know what it is about y'all, brothers and sisters. I don't understand why you love and you become so loyal and you hang on to those who clearly give you nothing. This is 2000 going on. This is 2017. And when you look in the past and you've been following behind all these persons, what have you gotten? You've gotten nothing. So when I speak about Minister Louis Farrakhan, it's not about jealousy. It's not about hatred. It's about I am wanting to help you because you claim that you can free our people. You can liberate our people. Instead of a taker, you give. I do not see this. I cannot support you. Going on 40 years, Minister Farrakhan said this out of his own mouth. I've been working for 40 years. And what have you given the community? You have not given the community nothing. You don't have no influence in Chicago, where now it is about what they say, close to 800 murders. You have no influence on the mentality of the residents, the gang, the black gang members, and other persons in Chicago where you have a headquarters. You have no influence at all. What does this tell us? It is not about jealousy. It's not about hate. It's about you are saying that you can do something and you're not getting the job done. That's the bottom line. You continue to follow these persons and they are not getting the job done. In fact, they really don't know what to do. But because you like how they speak, you like the way they articulate. Well, I'm going to tell you now, and I'm not bragging, but you know, I'm a little charismatic myself, and I'm a little articulate myself. I'm all those things too. But you don't like Angel Snutting Up 7. You don't like the Reality's Temple because I'm not going to feed your delusions. I'm not going to feed your delusions of grandeur. I'm not going to make you feel good. I'm going to always tell it to you exactly how it is. Tell them the truth. And they always say that truth hurts. So if the truth that these people are telling you is not hurting you at some point in time, they're not telling you the truth. They may give you some truth, a little bit of the truth, maybe the plain truth, but not the real truth. The things that a doctor, you have to make a doctor tell the patient, because the patient, most patients won't be able to handle the reality of their sickness. So many times when we want the real truth, you have to tell the doctor, look, doc, be real. Tell me what's going on. And the doctor tells you, well, you have only 2 months to live. Now, if you did not know that you only had 2 months to live, and you want the doctor to play games with you, then you cannot respond. Then you cannot respond properly. Since I have only 2 months to live, I have to make certain preparations. There's things that I would like to do before I pass this life. Now I can work with this because the doctor was real with me. But since many doctors won't be real with their patients and pussyfoot, now I have less time to deal with what I want to deal with and understand the time that I have left with those of whom I love. So no matter what I say here tonight or today, it makes no difference. You're going to continue to be what that brother calls, that word I'm looking for, sycophant. Somebody who brown nose people in the backside. Kiss somebody's butt. That's all many of you are. Running around here praising people that have done nothing. When you praise me, and people deserve praise when they do certain things. There's nothing wrong with a little praise. Praise just shows that I'm very happy, and I'm really grateful for the work, the sacrifice that you have done for me. There's nothing wrong with that. But see, for some of us, we can't handle praise. It goes all to our heads, such as in the case of Umar Johnson, and we're going to talk about that. Such as in the case of our brother Seti. You know, our heads fill up, such as in the case of the House of Consciousness. And again, in the case of brother Umar Johnson. Ego tripping, and when it's all said and done, you don't have a pot to piss in. Y'all want to talk? We're going to talk a little bit. But there is an alternative if you are real. But the majority of you are not real. Here you are. You have this ministry that you can start from the ground level and create a real council of elders, a real tribunal where you are involved from the bottom all the way to the top. Something that you created from your mind, yourself, rather than copying what somebody else done, always messing with other people's leftovers and hand-me-downs. This is not a hand-me-down. This is yours. This is what you create. This ministry does not belong to me. It is a platform where you can plan your exodus from your oppressor once and for all. Accept reality, my friend. It's much easier. I'm not interested in making you feel good. I'll let your husband make you feel good. I'll let your wife make you feel good. Or the prostitute in the back alleyway. I'm not interested in making you feel good. I'm here to bring us reality and present it in the best manner that I can. Well, I don't want to talk like this. I don't hate anybody. I don't dislike anybody. It makes me feel very, very bad to speak, as many of you might say, negative of Minister Farrakhan, negative of Sarasun Seti or Young Pharaoh or Saneto or Umar Johnson. But I got to be real. You have to hear an alternative viewpoint that is non-biased. And when I speak to them, I am speaking to us because we must do better. I don't really believe that you really want freedom. I really don't believe that you want liberation. I believe in reality, these people allow you to feel good and make you believe that's what you want. In fact, the reality is, and it could be, that you're really scared to be liberated. Because out of your mouth, bang on the beast. We want reparations. We want to be free. That's what you say out of your mouth. But subconsciously, and what you may keep to yourself, what we gonna do with our white folks? Just like people always say, you talk about separation. Where we gonna go? What we gonna do? The problem is, are you ready to go? That's the problem. When you're ready to go, you will find where you need to go. You don't have to worry about that. There's many places. You have a whole planet. You can find a place to go. The problem is, are you ready? Are you really willing and ready to go? And let go of Facebook. Let go of YouTube. Let go of your cell phones. Let go of the comfortable way that you're living right now. Are you willing to give all that up to be free? No, you're not. So I would rather just go out and listen to Umar Johnson. Matter of fact, many of you find what Umar said to Seti and what Seti say to Umar, what Sarnetta says to Polite, and so forth and so. You find all of this entertaining. When it's madness, it's sickening. But you find it entertaining because you're a comfortable Negro slave. Bunch of dark Europeans. Dark Europeans is the most confused and hypocritical things on this planet. I love the people of soul. But I don't like dark Europeans. I don't like black folks. I don't like Negroes. I don't like Africans. I don't like none of that. All that comes from up out of pink supremacy, racism. And I want to take us out of racism. What make you think? How is the very thing that put you in the condition that you're in, how is that going to improve your condition and take you out? It's not going to do it. It was not designed for that. And you holding on to these things that were nothing but a response to racism. And they were created and designed based within the limited mentality of the understanding of the people during that particular time period. And when it's all said and done, they failed. You continue to fail because your thinking process is outdated. There, with all the information that you have, which is cool, but you have yet to begin to learn how to think. Because if you learn how to think, then you don't hate Umar Johnson. You don't hate Brother Seti or Sarnetta or Louis Farrakhan or none of these people. But when you learn how to think for yourself, you see that what they bring to the table will not, and it's not capable, and it was not designed to give you true freedom and liberation. It cannot do it. It has not done it, and it will not do it. I would like for you to listen to my basic foundation of how we can begin the process of liberation and an exodus from this wicked nation and its evil, unrighteous, nasty people. That's why Sarnetta is nasty, nasty mouth. That's why Umar Johnson is nasty mouth. Where do you think they learn all that from? They learn it from their slave massa. Here they are talking all this black conscious stuff and using the very language they learn, vulgar, nasty, disrespectful, wicked language from the massa. I have a video called The Real Solution to the Problems of Black America. I would like for you to listen to that. And I have already released it, and nobody is telling me that what I'm talking about cannot work. You don't even want to try because you are comfortable being exactly what Sanetta and Umar Johnson and Seti say out of their mouth. You're comfortable being a comfortable nigger. And I'm going to bring you, not me, but time wants to bring us up out of this niggerism. Don't have time for it. So give the Realities Temple an opportunity, just like you give all these other people. Give this ministry an opportunity. Support this ministry. We want to talk about and use a few minutes to speak about the current crisis. It's a crisis because you have black men at each other's throats. You are not the enemy. Why is this going on? I thought these men were smarter. I thought these men was wiser. If you want to do this, then you should. The Muslims teach, coming from the Holy Quran, if you want to argue, if you want to debate, then do it in the best of manners. Surely the arguing is not of the best of manners coming from none of these persons. I want to say that in speaking of Dr. Umar, I want to talk about Dr. Umar Johnson for a minute. I want to begin. In fact, this is my primary subject. The topic that I want to talk about is Dr. Umar Johnson. I met Dr. Umar Johnson at the, I think, the 18th, 15th anniversary of Pastor Ray Hagan's being the minister of his movement. I met Dr. Umar Johnson. And when I met Dr. Umar Johnson, and I had family with me, Dr. Johnson appeared to be a very nice person, down to earth, and happy-go-lucky. I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about Dr. Johnson. In fact, I made a video, and I entitled the video Dr. Umar Johnson for President, something to that effect. So this young man, I hold him, you know, to a certain high regard. I give him the benefit of a doubt. Now, of course, he would later on come into the spotlight with this stripper thing that's going down. And that's sort of disappointing. And he was able to continue to move forward and get past the stripper thing. And now this, whoo, man. Here is a person who is claiming to have a doctorate degree in psychology. We're going to talk about this psychology degree. But you are supposed to be an intellectual with this degree. And now you come before the world talking against another black man with the most nasty, profane, vulgar, Tommy Sotomayor type language. Woo! I am very sure many of you was just as disappointed like I was. I'm like, wow. I could not, I'm not going to say I could not believe it, because nothing shocks me. When it comes to dark Europeans, the Negroes, nothing shocks me. So it was not shocking. I'm like, wow. He actually went there. Let me remind Dr. Umar Johnson of something. Dr. Umar Johnson. What makes you a doctor? You're a doctor of psychology. Let's make it clear about this doctorate of psychology. What is it really worth? As many of you know, I am a victim of psychiatry and psychology. So, unlike Dr. Umar Johnson, my doctor's degree comes from actual experience. While his come from book learning, mine comes from actually living psychology 24 hours a day in lockup. Psychology is one of the easiest degrees that you can earn. Psychology, psychiatry is not a respected discipline among the sciences, mathematics and engineering and so forth, and medicine. It is not respected at all because it is full of guesswork, I think. There is a book called the Diagnostic Manual. What they call it? I forgot what that. Dr. Johnson talks about it. The Diagnostics Manual. It's the manual. It's the Bible of psychiatry. In the very table of contents, the preference, the preface, I believe that's what you call it. It tells you that it's nothing but a bunch of guesswork. Psychiatry has over 300 illnesses, does not know any cause, have not cured not one. A psychologist is on a lower level than a psychiatrist, because a psychiatrist is also a medical doctor that can prescribe medication. A psychologist cannot prescribe medication. This is why Dr. Johnson cannot prescribe medicine. Only psychiatrists can do that. However, Dr. Johnson could free some people out of mental institutions if he wanted to. He has the power to do that if his doctorate degree is real. Just for curiosity's sake, I would really know. Because if the courts accept his testimony, then clearly his, you can still be a fraud. You can still be a fraud and the courts will accept you. That's a proven. But basically what I'm saying is, I would not brag about your doctorate degree because it really does not mean anything, because psychology does not mean anything. You talk about psychology and the effect that it has on the people of soul, but I learned from Scientology, and I must give Scientology credit because Scientology wrote years and years ago about psychiatrists' attack on the black or soul community. Long time ago. So everything that I heard Dr. Johnson teach, I already knew all those things. And I learned that from reading Scientology material. Plus, I was a victim. And I saw firsthand what psychiatry is about. Dr. Johnson. Oh, man. So how can you be so intellectual and all this, these four little words and all this hatred and vulgar, profane, nasty language come out of you? It must be a part of you anyway. In other words, how can you be so intellectual and a nigga at the same time? That's like, how can you mix oil and water? They don't really mix. They only mix when you have brown noses and people who suck your backside. And I'm not going to do that. Because now the only thing you have done is really shown that you are a nigger. That's all you have done. An intellectual nigger. You are the self-proclaimed prince of Pan-Africanism, the prince of black conscience. I don't know where you get that from. Now, I know many of you understand or know the origins and the history of black conscience and Pan-Africanism. I did a very brief Google search. And black conscience and Pan-Africanism, both of them don't even have origins in America. Both of them origin from out of apartheid in South Africa. And in the 1960s, black Americans began to use those terms. Those terms don't even belong to you. I'm black conscious. You always borrowing or stealing from somebody else. You cannot, you claim to be black guys and you can't create nothing on your own. Very, very sad. But you are the prince. How are you going to be the prince of something that you did not originate? Then when we talk about Pan-Africanism, and Pan-Africanism is nothing but, it's an idea that the nations on the African continent should unite. Very simple. And what's sad about that is that Muammar Gaddafi, who is an Arab, was the greatest proponent of Pan-Africanism. This was one of the reasons why the Caucasian people could not tolerate Muammar Gaddafi. This man had to go. He was trying to unite the African nations. So it was no shock that they spent billions of dollars to assassinate and kill this Arab who was doing something you think that the Africans themselves would want to do. When I did this Google search, Dr.Umar Johnson, brother, your name never came up in reference to Pan-Africanism and black conscience. Why is that? But you're the prince. How are you going to be prince of something again that you did not even originate? Our egos. Where does this come from? Umar Johnson was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And this is on YouTube. Look up Umar Johnson, his interview with Jesse Lee Peterson. And Jesse Lee Peterson's audience destroyed Umar Johnson. He was having problems trying to explain what Pan-Africanism, what is that? Exactly what is that? He calls himself the king. I'm the King Kong of consciousness. This is a quote from Denzel Washington Training Day. But if you remember, Denzel Washington was a corrupt cop when he made that statement. He was terrorizing the people that was around him. He was a cop, but he was a criminal. Is this what you are alluding to? Or making us believe that's what you are? See, some people, everybody that is talking liberation and revolution or whatever, many of them don't have your best interest at heart. Because if this man had your best interest at heart, he would have thought twice, 3 times, 4 times before coming out in the public and talking about Sarah Sutanseti like that. Brother, I don't know what to say. Now, here's Seti. He's taking the brunt of this rant from Umar Johnson. I met Sarah Sutanseti also back in 2010 or 9 or something like that. And he is a very short brother, and I said that in the video. He's a short brother. And like I said, I don't dislike anybody. But these persons, none of them can give you the salvation that you think that if you really want it. They don't have it. They just don't. Have nothing to do with my ego or hatred. They just don't. And I prove it to you every time I talk to you. I can prove it. Their actions show you. Look at the behavior. They are supposed to represent you. Is this how you want to be represented? With vulgarity, profanity, disrespect, and hatred? Then we have, I'm skipping around. Then you have Sarnetta. This man said before the end of 2016, I apologize to everybody, including Sarah Sutanseti. Next thing you know, now he's on YouTube talking about Seti again in a negative manner because now he found a partner in Umar Johnson. Y'all support this niggerism. Excuse me. How naive, how dense are you? It's entertainment, it's not real. Oh, I don't. So Dr. Johnson talks about how short Sarah Sutanseti. I've seen people who are short that will whoop the hell out of you. That don't mean anything. Just because somebody is short. I'm shorter than Umar Johnson. I will tell you this. Now see, I guess I'm not going to go there in this video. I don't like threats. I don't like people trying to bully somebody. Just because you big, you think you can just whoop somebody because they're shorter or smaller than you are. I don't like that. I'm going to go there because, see, if Umar Johnson had threatened me like that, I probably would have took him up on his offer. Let's put on some boxing gloves, and since you're so big and bad and you think whatever, let's do it. And I'm older than you are. Then you're going to make mockery of Seti because of his light skin. He's a black man. Crackers don't care if you're light skinned, dark skinned. The only thing they see is a nigger. That's all they care about. That's all that qualifies you as a nigger, as trash. So just like a sister said, here you are exposing who you really are, how you really feel about short people, how you really feel about light-skinned brothers and sisters. Then you said, oh, and you live with your mama. What's wrong with living with your mama? What is wrong with staying with your family? That's what's wrong with us. The best economics we could have is staying together, but we don't. Everybody separate and do their own thing, filled with self-hate, even within your family. You can't get along with your mama no more. Can't get along with your sister. You can't get along with your daddy. Look at all the money. Look at the economics. Look what you could save if everybody could take their finances and keep it in one house, but everybody want to do their own thing. Because you don't have no respect for your mama no more. Mama don't have no respect for you because now you're grown. All this crazy stuff. What's wrong with living with your mama, your daddy, your sisters and your brothers? Mexicans do it all the time. People that come from overseas do it all the time. So what? What are you trying to say, Umar Johnson? What are you trying to say? Why are y'all continuing to support this madness and insanity? Here you are. Excuse me. Here you are, Dr. Johnson. You keep talking about this school. You haven't produced a school yet. You just keep talking. But how can you put a school over food, clothing, and shelter? If you secure food, clothing, and shelter, don't those children have to wear clothes? Don't they have to have a house to live in? Don't they have to have food to eat? If you secure food, clothing, and shelter, that produces jobs that will produce the finance that you need that will support a school. I don't understand your thinking. How are you living, Dr. Johnson? You have all this money. So you living how in the hog? Is it from the funds you getting from your speaking engagements? To hear you speak. They're not bringing you in so that you can show them how to do something. See, listen. They're not bringing you in to show you so you can show somebody how to do something. They're bringing you in just to run your mouth, just like what you claim that's all SETI is doing. The only thing you're doing is running your mouth and wasting a lot of time trying to build a school that you cannot afford. You want to do something for young black boys, but yet and still you exploit a sister, the conscious stripper. You lead her on like you might want to have some kind of relationship with her, and you play with her. You play with our sisters like they a toy, and she has a son, and you don't care nothing about her son because her son is watching you exploit and trick and mess around and mess his mother around. But yet and still at the same time, you care for young black boys. And why only black boys? Why not our children? It's about the black boys. What's so special about the black boys? I wonder about that. Because a lot of people who specialize in the black boys, a lot of them was wanting to do something else with the black boys. Wow. You have all this ego. You're the prince of Pan-Africanism. Pan-African is nothing but simply an idea to unite the nations of Africa. I don't know why you're so interested in Africa. Because clearly Africa is not really that interested in you. Africa has never been united. You want something that the people on the continent never wanted, not interested in. There are over 50 nations on the continent, countless tribes, belief systems, and so forth. You talk about African spirituality. What the hell is that? Africa is a continent filled with all kinds of belief systems and whatever. How are you going to look all that? What African? Be specific. When you talk about Africa, be specific. Are you talking about Ghana, Rhodesia, Somalia, the Congo? What people are you talking about? The Twa people? Are you talking about the Yoruba or the Zulus? Who are you talking about? You're never specific. It's nothing but a bunch of confusion. And that's all you're going to get is confusion. And feel good sounding stuff that really don't make any sense. But you want to know something? You're going to get what you pay for. Keep following these people. They cannot lead you to heaven, because as you can clearly see, all of them, this one, this one, this one, no matter where you turn, all of them are hell raisers. How is a hell raiser going to be able to lead you to heaven? Filled with ego, tripping off celebrity. The reality stuff on earth wants you to be free. The reality stuff on earth is not interested in your personal life or beliefs. Just want you to be free. I don't want you to brown nose me or anybody. I want us to be liberated and free. I don't care about your religion. I don't care about your politics. I want to be free. That's all I want for you. I want you to be free. You deserve to be free. But people that have this arrogant attitude, like Umar Johnson and even Seti and even Sonetta, nasty, profane, childish, infantile people who have no idea of what liberation really is, a bunch of slaves that call themselves nigger, so clearly they still slaves. They have no idea what freedom is. I am telling you that since I was locked up and I was able to set myself free within the laws of the oppressor, I know how, and I have an idea how to get us to the point where we can exodus from this beast. Not just bang on this beast, exodus from this beast. And once you separate yourself from this devil, from these wicked people, your life would change for almost overnight. The heaven that you thought would never come, it'll come like overnight. You must want to change and transform yourself. You cannot go into a clean house wearing muddy shoes, calling yourself a nigger, still acting crazy the way that we've been acting. You don't deserve heaven. If there is a God, there's no God that's going to allow some dirty, filthy, nasty, profane, wicked people like you are go into his house and mess up his house, his new house that he or she has built. Not going to happen. Since you don't want to change, then that's good. Then you keep following Umar Johnson. Then you keep following Sonetta TV and Seti and all these young pharaoh. Nothing but a bunch of hell raisers. And that's exactly where you deserve and where you belong, in hell. And all I can say is, good riddance to bad rubbish. And those who deserve better, then you would do better. Has nothing to do with hatred of Sonetta or Umar Johnson or Seti or any of these persons. Has nothing to do with that. They cannot give you what you claim that you want. They cannot. Farrakhan has been trying 40 years and has not been able to do nothing. Accept reality, my friend. It's easier. You don't have to believe nothing I say. Just start using your own brain. And when you begin to use your own brain, everything that I put on this platform, you will begin to see very clearly. And then Farrakhan is not enough for you. SETI is not enough for you. All these people can inspire and all of them can encourage, but they cannot guide you and lead you and transform your mentality to where you need to be so you qualify to go to heaven. The only thing they can cause you to qualify to be is a hellraiser and a devil. So with that said, thank you for listening. I would hope that all these brothers would stop all this madness, this insanity. And they have the potential to do great things. But you cannot do that in the present mentality that you have right now, because it's not enough. And you still view yourself as a product of slavery. Still calling people niggas and all this other crazy stuff. Because you're still a black conscious, black power, Pan-Africanism slave. If that's what you want, more power to you. For those who seek more and you demand results and you want to see results, then you need to come on this train. Because this train, if you give it the same fuel, if you give it the same energy as you have given hellraisers, then this train can get on the tracks and take us straight to where we need to be. And we deserve heaven. After 500 years, don't you think we deserve heaven? Real love? Thank you for listening. And as Don Cornelius would always say, as in parting, I wish you love, peace, and soul.